Coming to you live from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, it's the Cigar Pulpit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Bird, Nick, and today, boy, you guys have called the hotline. You guys have left me a lot of calls, and I love it. I love it so much. It's time for another Ask the Pulpit. It's going to be a mega Ask the Pulpit, in fact. So, we have a number of calls, and I probably should have grabbed a bigger cigar for today. But I have more sitting here that I can get to. But today, I will be smoking the EP Carrillo, or Casa Carrillo, I guess that's what they're going by now. But, at the time, EP Carrillo. The Pledge, I'm going to be smoking the Pledge Prequel. It's a 5x50 featuring an Habano, Connecticut wrapper, Ecuadorian binder, and fillers from Nicaragua. And this was Cigar Aficionado's #1 cigar of 2020. Received, I believe, a 98 score. So, take that for what it's worth. I know everybody has their opinions on Cigar Aficionado, but, it's a big accolade and, something that should be noted. I probably should have gotten this fancy footband off of it before I decided to record because the tape is, proving to be quite difficult to get off. My God, that tape goes practically all the way around the cigar. No wonder. It's like a straitjacket on the foot of this thing. My God. This is an insane amount of tape. Whoever put the tape on this ribbon was intense. It is a gold ribbon. I wonder if Mr. Jonathan put this tape on it. A lot of tape to keep that gold ribbon in place. All right, now that that's off, we can finally get down to business here. And it's time to cut the cigar, and the official cutting is brought to you by 2guyscigars.com. That's the number 2guyscigars.com. Two Guys have been around for over 40 years, and they are the trusted name in the cigar industry. Blah. Everybody knows Two Guys, but if you don't, please give them a try. You won't be sorry. Family owned and operated, 2guyscigars.com does the very best to provide a great selection, fair prices, and excellent customer service. I do know that you can get the EP Carrillo Pledge over there if you are so inclined. So head on over to 2guyscigars.com for your next cigar purchase. Tell them that the Cigar Pulpit sent you. And remember, that's the number 2guyscigars.com. And with that, it's time to go ahead and cut the cigar. Guys, it's been such a week. It's been a fun week. But it's been a hot week. And I'm so incredibly pleased to be able to sit in my garage and record this episode for you and not be just dying from the heat. It has been so miserably hot. And I know everybody's getting it, so you all know what I'm talking about. But oh my God. It's just been absolutely a nightmare. Absolutely a nightmare. Getting some earthiness and some rich dark cocoa to the cold draw on the EP Carrillo Pledge here. All right, well, while I like this guy, you guys are going to listen to the greatest commercial you've ever heard, and then from there, we will be diving right into your calls, because I have a number of calls. I love it so much. Keep those calls coming. They're a huge, huge, huge help, and we'll jump right into the Ask the Pulpit, but for right now, I'm going to light my cigar.
Some say cigars are all the same. It's just not true. It's you I have to blame.
Well, I don't know, 'cause what I know, there is a cigar called Aladino Corojo.
Aladino Corojo. Aladino Corojo. They say authentic, so we're not confused, while the others say it's a word that's just abused.
I guess that's so. They can't compete. At least I'm sure Aladino can't be beat.
Corojo. Aladino Corojo. Aladino Corojo. Aladino Cigars use authentic Corojo tobacco from JRE Tobacco. This is the greatest commercial you ever heard.
Yeah.
Had to turn on the fan. I forgot about the vent fan there. Boy, I jacked this up. I don't know what is going on. But I have quite the poor light going from those matches. I don't know what I did to this thing. Anyway, we're going to struggle on through. Hopefully it catches, gets better. I may have messed this up. Hopefully not. Anyway, all right, guys, it's time to just jump right in.
Shall we play a game?
You talking to me? I have a question for you.
You gotta ask me nicely.
Ask me about my winner.
You got a question? You ask the 8-ball.
Come on, sucker. Let's get it on.
All right, guys, it is time for another Ask the Pulpit. And like I said, I've got a ton of calls.
I cannot speak English, but I'm excited.
He's excited. He's excited. I'm excited. All right, it's time to just go ahead and jump right into it. So, full clarification, full transparency, full honesty. The app that I use does not list these calls in chronological order. It lists them, it groups them by caller. So if, let's say, somebody calls on June 30 and then calls again on July 5th, it will group them in one like little subcategory. But it doesn't necessarily make them chronological. So what I have done, I've gone through all the different subcategories. I've gone through all the different entries in the list. And I have put together a list of the calls in chronological order. So I'm going to be bouncing back and forth within my little app in order to make sure that the calls are listened to in proper chronological order, because so many of them have come in a short period of time that I feel as though the chronological order of these might be important. I don't know if it is, but I'm going to play like it is, and we're going to do it that way. So, some of them did come in back to back. So you might hear the same caller back to back. But it might be a situation where you hear one caller one day or one time, and then you hear another couple, and then that caller comes back again. We'll see. But, all right, heading in to the first caller.
Hey, Nick, Boots here from West Virginia.
What up, Boots?
So I don't know if anybody else has realized that this whole nickname saga, and I hope my signal lasts, most likely it's going to go out and this message is going to come across, and I wasted my time and yours. Either way, I don't know if you know this or anybody else realizes this, but this whole nickname business is playing off completely like a Seinfeld episode, right? So there literally was a Seinfeld episode about what space you were on in somebody's speed dial, right? And then there's also the whole George T-Bone nickname scandal. So either way, again, I'm watching my signal. It looks like you're not going to get this whole thing. But either way, this whole saga is a Seinfeld episode. All we're missing is a masturbation challenge. And we got ourselves a full season. Either way, stay smoky. Have a great one, Nick.
Well, now that you've put that out in the universe there, Boots, I'm sure somebody's going to come up with something, because there's some really bizarrely wretched people in my audience. I mean, I love every one of you, but come on, guys. There's some freaky people. But no, that's interesting. See, I'm not a big Seinfeld guy. I never really was a big Seinfeld guy. I like aspects of that show. There are some parts of that show that I find really funny. There are some episodes that I find really funny. But as a whole, that show never really, grabbed me, and, I never really, embraced it. It was not really my thing. And so I was unaware of these episodes at which you are speaking. The one about the placement and the cell phone and the whatever. I didn't know any of this, so that's interesting. Well, maybe it's one of those things. Maybe that show is successful because it does, play upon real life situations so much. Who knows? I don't know. I would hope not. I would hope nobody is dying because they're licking envelopes. I am aware of that. That is a piece of Seinfeld knowledge that I know. Anyway, thanks for the call, Boots. I appreciate it. Moving on, we have another caller.
Hey, Nick, Chris from Maryland.
What up, Chris?
In the middle of the side piece and sampler pack episode, and had a moment to call, but a couple things on my mind. When I met you down there, the fourth guy, that was my brother Greg. He lives down there in Palm Coast.
That's it.
It was the reason why I was there.
That's it.
He's buds with Ricky.
Yep, that's
So,
it.
Yeah, again, good times. Great meeting you. And unfortunately, only so much PTO. It wouldn't let me get back down there. And, my wife would have a hard time understanding, oh, you're going to your brother's in Florida for a weekend to smoke cigars? Might have a little hard time explaining that one. Second thing, comes to mind, 25 years ago, similar situation, but I was pretty much full-time custody of my son and what have you. The shared stuff with his POS mom didn't work. And one thing I realized then, and we can take a backseat, always put your son first. I resigned to the fact back then that I was 1A, but he was 1B. He was not my number 2. He was always part of me in anything that I did. So I commend you for taking the time. Do what you have to. They're only young once. My guy is 27 now, and I've moved on in things in life, and everything that I did involved him, got me to where I'm at now. So I wouldn't change any of that. Beyond that, side piece note, and this kind of goes with ChatGPT. So, as I told you back then, heavily involved in social media, blog beer, do 2A content on YouTube. I also am a PIO for my fire department, and a lot of other social media things. Don't be afraid to use AI or chat or whatever tool. Everything that I do, I proof through there, and I also use it to help build content to make sure that I'm not forgetting anything, to leave the best content that you can. So to the guy that threw you under the bus for using AI, pound sand, pal. That's not just me contention, but do what works for you, brother. Hey, on the other side of it, side piece thing, some humorous things, sidekick, backup plan, beach player, second string, spare tire. Some other things there that will a little more insulting maybe, but still.
Oh, he hit the 3-minute mark. Looks like he called back, so we'll listen to this.
Dang, sorry, it's Chris from Maryland again. I didn't think I'd get Chatty Cathy on that 3-minute mark, but whoa. Just a couple more of those things. Runner-up, silver medalist, reserve unit.
Reserve unit.
So anyway, just want to give you some food for thought, brother. Don't give up on your son, or don't give up, but don't make every moment count. Make every moment count. So that's all I got to say. I'm going to drop off. Be good and keep up the good work. Thanks.
I appreciate the call there, Chris. And oh yeah, no, dude. Here's the thing. I talk about how busy I am in the summer, and how much I need your calls. Which again, they've been very, very helpful. But yeah, let's be real. If it came down to spending time with my kid or making content for you all, I mean, no offense, but the content is not going to get made. It's just that simple. I mean, I skipped a drive time review this past week because I had my son, and I couldn't get one done. It's just one of those things. I don't smoke with him in the car for a lot of reasons. And so it's just, it wasn't anything feasible. And I'm loving my time with my son over the summer. We had a wonderful week, this past week. Erica was in town, and so we spent some time together, the three of us, and her son was going to come, but changed his mind at the last minute and didn't make it. And so, but anyway, we had a great time. We went over to Grant's farm in Missouri, which is the farm that Ulysses S. Grant had. So, I mean, this is like a presidential site. But the Anheuser-Busch family somehow got a hold of it, and it became like this farm where they had like their collection of exotic kind of animals, mostly hoofed animals. You're talking like deer and bison, but there's like zebra and yak and camels and all kinds of stuff, and we get to feed the goats, and it was a wonderful time. Dude, we hit up the fireworks multiple times. My kid loves fireworks. It's one of those things when you hear about autism and the sensory, things, sometimes loud noises can be a problem, but man, my kid loves fireworks. And so we went and found fireworks twice over the 4th of July weekend, and we just had a really good time. It was a lot of fun, and and I'm making this work as best I can, getting you guys shows, while I have him. Again, full disclosure, I am recording this right now while he is in his summer school program. He goes to his summer school from 8:15 to 11:45. And right now, as I record this, it is 9:40 a.m. And I'm watching the clock because I got to make sure that I, have enough time to get this finished and, everything, so that then I can go and pick him up. And as soon as I pick him up, I know the first place we're going to go is Chipotle, because he loves Chipotle. And so, it's just one of those things, man. I'm having a great time with him. We've got, we've got a trip coming up. He and I are going to be going down to Florida so that he can do the Vincent Clubhouse summer camp for a week. And
You've got mail.
I have mail. That is coming up here later this month. And so realistically, over the next however many days, I'm going to be banking up a lot of episodes so that they're done and in the can and ready for that trip. I have a couple of things planned out for you guys. It'll be fun. We're going to have some good episodes during that period of time. But so I'm making it work. I'm making it work as best I can. I'm putting in the effort. I'm trying. But no, rest assured, Chris, I'm never ever going to shortchange my son, or take away from him, in order to do this or something else. I mean, it's just not the way it works. So, no, he does not come at the expense of anything else, so yeah, but, as for you coming down to Pulpit Fest, I get it. I totally get it. Anybody who is interested in Pulpit Fest, there are still 12 tickets left available, general admission tickets left available. You can head on over to eventbrite.com, BRITE, eventbrite.com, and find those. You can head to cigarpulpit.com, and there is the first post on the website actually has the poster image for Pulpit Fest, and you can click on that, and it'll take you to Eventbrite. It's going to be a fun time. We're going to have a wonderful time. It's in Palm Coast, Florida, October 1st through the 4th. It's at the Ash and Ale Lounge. It's going to be a great time. You guys are going to want to make it. Plotting out some fun games and all kinds of stuff for you. It's going to be fun. So you're going to want to get in on that if you haven't bought your ticket yet. But I understand that you can't make it, Chris. Things happen, life happens, and sometimes I understand that explaining to the missus that you're going down to see your brother and have cigars might be a tall order, but I'm a big fan of parody, and so not that I'm promoting any sort of discontent in a marriage, but I think there should be equality. So if your wife goes out with her friends, or maybe she has a sister or something like that a lot, just balance it. Keep it balanced, Maybe you don't do a lot, but when you do something, it's bigger. See what I mean? Anyway, we got one more call from Chris here, and then we continue down the list.
Hey, Nick, Chris again. You said you wanted content.
There you go.
Appreciate the calls. 2 more for the side piece thing. 1, after-hours consultant.
Oh, my God.
2, vice president of bad decisions. Honestly, I could see you kind of fitting into that, after-hours consultant. We're kind of listening to the podcast, getting your wisdom. So appreciate it. Take care.
Boy, considering what I just told you about equality in your marriage and balancing out what you do and what she does, maybe the other one, the vice president of bad decisions, is the one that I should be taking. Anyway. All right, Chris, thank you so much for the call, and I greatly appreciate it. Moving on now, we got another couple calls.
Hey, Nick, Sean here.
What up, Sean?
Just watching the latest episode, and I see the unboxing of the San Andreas 1888 by Villiger. I'm kind of excited to give that a try. I do like the 1888 normal one, or the blue label. But anyways, from my trip down to Nicaragua, I still have that test blend that they were supposed to launch there in PCA, but never showed up there. But can't wait to get my hands on a stick of the San Andreas and smoke the test blend. I knew it was something when I tried it the first time, the test blend. I knew it was a little bit different, but it was very 1888-ish. So anyways, I did like it. So I'm going to smoke the 2 side by side as soon as they get to the realtors, the shops and the stores. I'm going to definitely pick up a couple and probably even get a box of them because if it's the same price point, it's a great, not bundle brand, but a, inexpensive good stick. So,
affordable.
Anyways, yeah, I saw you were dry begging for calls, so I thought I'd give you just a quick call. Like the unboxing stuff, especially with the Lemonade last week, and now with the 1888. So maybe continue to do that. I know it's not the best radio or best for the just audio only, but visually, it's fun. Anyways, we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Well, Sean, I appreciate that. And yes, I've smoked a couple since that unboxing in that episode. I have smoked a couple of the 1888 San Andreas. And so good. I enjoy it. I'm pretty sure that's the one that Renee had me try when I was down in Miami in October, and it was good then, and I like it so much now. So yeah, I highly recommend it. In fact, Renee is going to be coming onto the show here soon. We're going to talk all about it and everything else. So just a little tease of stuff upcoming. And for those of you who weren't on the Zoom Herf, this is why I'm gonna tell you. I'm going to give you all reason to join the Zoom Herfs, which the next Zoom Herf, by the way, make note, is Saturday, July 25th. Saturday, July 25th is the next Parishioner Zoom Herf. Renee Castaneda from Villiger was supposed to join us on the previous Zoom Herf, the one that we had, the second one that we had in June. And unfortunately, due to some travel snafus, his flight was delayed from the Dominican Republic back to Miami, and he was getting home very, very late and unable to join us on the Zoom Herf. But as a way to apologize and also being a smart manufacturer who's taking advantage of a core audience of people who are interested and promoting his product, he told me, get the names and addresses of everyone that's on the Zoom Herf, and we will send them some 1888 San Andreas to try. So I did. And everyone that was on that Zoom Herf was extraordinarily lucky because, my God, the gift packs that Villiger sent out, and I want to thank Villiger profusely for their kindness towards my listeners, because I have heard nothing but praise from everyone that received this pack. They got three cigars and a silicone ashtray and a lighter from Villiger. And it's like, boom, there you go. And the best part, Renee, instead, he was on me. He was like, can you get me these addresses as soon as possible, because I want to get these out quickly so that everybody has them before the 4th of July. And by God, people were getting them on July 3rd. I mean, they timed it out, man. Between Villiger and UPS, they timed it out perfectly to where everybody got their stuff either July 2nd or July 3rd. And everybody had those for the 4th of July to try and enjoy. So again, big thanks to Villiger and to Renee. But this also underscores the importance for all of you to jump onto the Zoom. You don't know who's going to join the Zoom. I plan things. I love surprises. I love surprises for you guys. And I plan things. And sometimes those surprises come to fruition. Sometimes they get delayed. Sometimes things just happen and shit just goes funky. But I love surprises, and so I'm going to try. I always am going to try to have maybe a guest come on to one of the Zooms so that you have somebody other than just me to talk to on the Zoom. And so I'm going to continue to try that, and hopefully it continues to go well, or goes well. Trey Mack joined us on one. Renee was going to join us on, but it got kind of muddy. So, I'm going to keep trying. We're going to make it work, and we're going to have a good time. So, anyway, Sean, thank you for the call. And I wasn't dry begging for call. I mean, I'm just basically saying, maybe it was a little begging, but what it boils down to is I need the calls. They benefit me, and they benefit you, because then I get to get the show done, and it works out well. All right. Speaking of Sean, we got another call because he called again.
Okay, here's an idea for Dakota's nickname. Let's take the top 5 nicknames for Dakota / T-Bone, a little Seinfeld reference there. And we'll put, at the PulpitFest, we'll put, the top 5 names in like a jar, and then we'll vote by whoever raises the most money for that nickname, and that can go back to whatever the Jason's house or whoever's house it is benefit, and then that will be the final decision. But anyways, just a thought. Thanks.
Vincent's Clubhouse. But I love that idea, Sean. I love the idea of making this, taking the nominations, taking the names, and ultimately doing a vote to where, for every, maybe it's a buck a vote, you're voting on the nickname as a way to raise money for Vincent's Clubhouse. I love that. And look, I love that we're coming up with different ways to support Vincent's Clubhouse. It's so great, and they do such wonderful things. And again, my son is going down there. We're going to go down and we're going to do a week of the camp. It's technically it's a 6-week camp. They do 3 weeks for adults, 3 weeks for kids over the course of the summer. Now that's just the summer camp. All year long, or the rest of the year, not the summer, but the whole rest of the year, they do their adult enrichment program where they're teaching autistic adults life skills and various things that they need to know to just get along in the world. They teach them like how to make and deal with a doctor's appointment, how to write out a letter and mail a letter. They do, going to the restaurants. They go to all the little restaurants in the European village and teach them about ordering your food and table manners. Things like all sorts of stuff that they do, stuff that we take for granted, stuff that we have learned and figured out, and we're operating in life. These are things that some of these folks kind of struggle with, and but it's also a social thing for everybody. But anyway, I'm not doing a giant commercial for Vince's Clubhouse. My point is, my son is, I'm going to take my son down. We're going to do 1 week of the camp. I can only, I only have him for the time. I can only get him down there for a week. But we're going to do a week of the camp, and I'll be taking notes, taking all sorts of information. I'm going to report back to you guys. I'm going to show you. I'm going to detail what a week of this camp is actually for. Because here's the thing: I'm asking everybody at Pulpit Fest, and realistically, everybody not going to Pulpit Fest, you can still donate. You can still donate if you go to vincentsclubhouse.org, I believe it is. You can find it, and you can make a donation if you so choose. You don't have to go to Pulpit Fest, but obviously Pulpit Fest supports it, so it works that way. But my point is, though, I want you guys to know, kind of what you're raising money for. You did awesome last year. I want to do awesome again this year. I want everybody to benefit, and I know that this is a tough year economically for everybody. I know money is tight. I know that just the fact that I'm asking you to come and party with me in Florida might be a big financial stretch. Not even taking into account, the idea of spending money at Ken's place so that we blast his register and help him out. Raising money for Vince's Clubhouse and everything else. But I'm trying to find ways that you get something out of it as well as everybody else. So anyway. Thank you so much. I appreciate the idea, Sean. And yes, we'll start the official the tally for nicknames, and then we can get a vote going. I like that idea. All right, continuing on, we have another call.
Hey Nick, it's Tom from Farmington, just outside Detroit.
What up, Tom?
I wonder if you've ever done this before. Sitting on my deck, I'm about 4 beers in, and I lit my cigar on not the foot, but on the head of the cigar. I'm smoking it backwards.
Oops.
So I don't know if you ever done that before. It was an unbanded cigar, not really paying attention to what I was doing. Like I said, I'm about 4 beers in, sitting here watching the Tigers on TV. So
it happens.
If you've had that problem, anyways, it smoked pretty good so far, but it might start unraveling anyways. Talk with you later. Bye.
All right, Tom, you just hit what I was just thinking, which is you can do it. You can do it. However, it does 9 times out of 10, it's going to start unraveling on you. The way the cigar is crafted and rolled and everything else, it's designed, believe it or not, there is a method to the madness, and it is designed to be smoked from the foot to the head. Now there are some cigars out there where it doesn't particularly matter. Who is it? Was it Fratello? Maybe it was Fratello. Somebody came out with one where you can smoke either end and, whatever. I don't really know how that works. The only thing I would say is that maybe it's a rolling method. Maybe there's like some sort of way, but I don't really know. I don't know. But every experience that I've ever had with smoking a cigar backwards, essentially, is that it does eventually start to unravel. So, you can do it, but, yeah, it's not the ideal way of doing it. The other thing is, flavor note wise, I would think you'd have a bit of an issue. Well, depends on what you're smoking. I mean, if it's something that's consistent all the way through, that's one thing. But a lot of cigars, what'll happen is they start off maybe a little on the more, not mild, but depending on what it is, more mellow. And as that you smoke through it, it builds to where the final third is definitely stronger than the first third. By smoking it backwards, you're getting that blast right in the beginning, and then the cigar basically mellows as you go, to where by the time you get to the end, it's like less than what it was in the beginning. So I don't know maybe that's what you want. Maybe you want that kick right in the beginning, and then it kind of slows as you go. It sounds like this was a mistake. It sounds like this was just an accident. 4 beers in, watching the Tigers, which, hey, that's a good day right there. I would be curious to know, Tom, how that smoking experience actually ended. Did it unravel? Did you have to give up on it maybe about halfway through? I'm curious as to how that finally kind of like ended for you. But anyway, thank you so much for your call. I appreciate it. All right, now here we are bouncing backwards because that's the way this goes. So,
hey Nick, Sean here. Friday morning.
Sean
joined the Herfs last night. Good time. Also this morning on the Parishioners group, Stephen Hemingway stepped up and said he came up with the nickname of Side Piece.
I saw that.
So at least we have that figured out. And then also I'd like to recommend for Trent a new nickname, Tater or Potato, because his internet runs off of potatoes. So anyways, we'll talk to you tonight, hopefully. Thanks.
Yes, I like the internet name of Tater or Potato for Trent. That seems appropriate. His internet, God love you, Trent. We got to figure out a way to get you better internet in that garage of yours, man. If you're going to be joining these Zoom Herfs, we got to get you better internet because it was a little rough. But I like that nickname there, Sean. Tater or tomato, whatever. Yeah, Potato. It's rough. So, all righty. Next call.
Good morning, Mr. Nick. This is John in South Alabama.
What up, John?
AKA Hags. A derivative of my last name is my nickname is Hags.
I know who you are.
Really loving the show you're putting out. Just kind of going along with a few things that you're speaking about in the show. Summertime is crazy. I don't know if I'm coming or going or leaving or whatever for half the time in the summer. And so it's kind of crazy. Really enjoying speaking about that and hope you're having good time with your son.
I am.
But the other day on the show when you unboxed your delivery, I thought that was great. Now I know I don't ever see anybody. No one ever sees me unbox anything, but that's how I feel when I get stuff in the mail too, from two guys or wherever. It's like, yay! But anyways, also, I was smoking a cigar the other day. It was over humidified, and it just drove me insane. Fighting that thing, and it was not good. But maybe tips and tricks for a few of us that live in the South or have some trouble keeping our cigars dry in the summertime with the humidity down here. But also, I got your stickers the other day. They look great. Thank you very much. I can't wait to see some more of them. And also, looking forward to coming to PulpitFest. Got my ticket last week, and really looking forward to it. My first time, and I can't wait to see everybody down in Florida in October. So, all right. Well, y'all have a great rest of your weekend, and stay smoky, my friend. Thank you very much, Nick.
John, I am looking forward to seeing you at PulpitFest. I appreciate so much that you bought the stickers. And, dude, yes, exactly. You get these shipments of whatever, be it from two guys or what is going on? Oh, sounds like a long crew. You get shipments from two guys or, in this case, Villiger sent me the nice gift pack. And sometimes I get shit coming at me that I don't even know what it is. Like, I'll admit, right now, as I sit here, I know that the post office is delivering, I think, 3 packages to me today, and I don't know when any of them are. One's coming from Minnesota, which that one really confuses me. I'm like, what in the hell is coming from Minnesota? But I have 2 coming from Florida. One coming from over near Tampa, Brandon, Florida, I believe was where that one originated, and then the other one's coming from Miami. And for the life of me, I don't know what either one of these could possibly be. And that's a lot of fun. I like that. But then, my 2 guys order, I tend to know what that's going to be. That when that comes along, it's like, okay, I know this is what I've ordered through the month. I don't necessarily order as much as some of the others, and that has nothing to do with the fact that I don't want to order things from 2 guys. It has everything to do with the fact that I don't have the budget to be ordering as much from 2 guys as I would like. But like that Aladino 250th, the Declaration cigar, I saw so many people with that wonderful United States flag box and everything, and they sold a good number of those, and man, I jealous because it's such a beautiful box and everything, but for the life of me, I didn't have the scratch at that exact moment to be doing that. But anyway, be that as it may, yes, when I get things, I'll start saving my boxes. It's going to be real hard for me to do that with these ones coming today due to the fact that they're such mysteries. I don't know what they could possibly be, and I'm dying to know. But I will save the boxes so that we can unbox them on the show, because the unboxing seems to be fun. You guys seem to like that, and that's cool. But anyway, thank you so much for the call, John. I appreciate it, and I look forward to meeting you in person at PulpitFest. All right. Next call here.
Hey, Nick, it's Glenn.
What up?
Just had a couple of things for you today. One is, have you ever considered doing a fresh squeezed lemonade, and you could call it the Pulpit
Nice.
lemonade? Anyhow, I thought that would be cool, and then you could have a tagline of "This juice is worth the squeeze."
Oh, Glenn,
maybe you could make a batch and practice it, and then distribute it at your Pulpit Fest. Anyhow, that's my idea for that one. The second one is, I think we need to put together a list of trigger words that will automatically launch the gym protocol that we talked about on one of the Zoom calls. Anyhow, that's it. That's my contribution.
Glenn.
And I'll talk to you soon.
Glenn.
Stay smoky.
Thank you, Glenn. I appreciate the call. And you touched on something that's going to come up later in the show. And my God, you didn't even know that you did it. But I'm going to, but anyway, we'll circle up to that here in a little bit. As for the idea of making a fresh squeezed lemonade for Pulpit Fest, I'll have to look into that. I'm going to have to look at it and put that on the list of items to look into. That is a feasible thing. Yes, I may have to look into that. As for the trigger words for the gym protocol. So, some of you may be sitting there going, what is the gym protocol? Well, before we get into that, I feel as though we have to do a little background history. I have to let you know. So technically, I haven't had to use it in a very long time because the wretched questions have been way down versus what they used to be. Back in the day, in the olden day of the cigar pulpits, when we would do this Ask the Pulpit segment, or as it was then, Ask the Boys, we had some callers that called in with some rather interesting questions. Sometimes rather personal, sometimes rather filthy. Bottom line, there were every once in a while, very rarely, but every once in a while, a question that I just wasn't going to answer. I just refused to answer. I refused to be on the record with an answer for that question. And it all came about when one caller named Adam called in and asked a question. I don't even remember what the question was. I just remember that the guy's name was Adam because we enacted the Adam Protocol. And the Adam Protocol basically is my right as the host to refuse to answer a question that is just too out of bounds. And so that's when I enact the Adam Protocol. And so I have a sound effect even for the Adam Protocol, and I'll play it now.
Red alert.
That's the Adam Protocol. So basically, when I refuse, I play that. Now, we were talking about it, and this came up on one of the Zoom Herfs, and it was the gym protocol. And the gym protocol was trigger words that would trigger my dad, that would get him fired up and would bring out the full curmudgeon. And Glenn is suggesting that we need to start compiling the list of trigger words that would enact the gym protocol of we probably shouldn't touch on that because it'll bring the full curmudgeon, which I think is funny as hell. But anyway, so yeah, Glenn, I like that idea. We need to formulate up that list so that we can have the full gym protocol, and we can go from there. So anyway, thank you for the call, buddy. I appreciate it. I'm sure we will catch you on the next Zoom Herf on July 25th. All right, next caller here.
Hey, Nick, it's James from Grass Valley, California.
What up,
you
James?
asked the question, so I've got the answers. Yes, I will allow you to ramp up your physical activity until you can reach 100 push-ups a day, but because you need a, what are we going to call it? We'll call it an allowance. There's going to be an addendum to our contract. So
okay.
You get a time allotment worth of allowance. So you can space out your 100 push-ups over the course of a day so that you can get them done. But if you don't get them done, you get your ass beat when you leave the house. But because you get to ramp up until you can reach 100 push-ups a day, you then have to extend that to at least a half hour of physical activity a day. But it's infinitum. So if you do a half hour of exercise every day, 7 days a week, not only do you not get your ass beat, but also you get $1,000 a day. So there's the addendum to the crazy. Would you rather? Would you rather get your ass beat every day or do 100 push-ups every day for the rest of your life? So there you go.
Involved in that.
Also, don't like the price tag, but really, really love the Chef Rick by West Tampa Tobacco. It's available and on sale in 50 count chests or singles. And I don't like the price tag. I think it's like almost $18 a stick, but I needed to tag on a couple extra bucks for free shipping from my last order. So I ordered one, and holy cow, what a great cigar. So buy one if you can get one. Of course, get it at your local brick and mortar, because if you don't support what you love, it goes away. But if you don't have it in a brick and mortar near you, absolutely order at Two Guys Cigars. That's number 2, guyscigars.com. And this commercial is brought to you by Two Guys Cigars. And tell them Nick sent you, because they're a sponsor of the show. All right, everybody stay smoky and safe. This is James from Grass Valley, California, signing off. Bye.
James, thank you so much. And yes, that is a follow-up to his last call. So if you need a little clarification about all that, the last Ask the Pulpit episode that I did, James called in and threw down a challenge about doing push-ups. if I was going to be given $1,000 a day every day, I did 100 push-ups, how many days in a row would I do it? And the penalty for not doing it is I get my ass kicked when I leave the house. And basically I said, like, I would do that for the rest of my life if, I, was making $1,000 a day. The only thing is I needed that ramp up period because I didn't want to get my ass beat for the first, however long until I was able to get to the 100 push-ups. But anyway, so I've been given grace there. So that's good. Anyway, regarding the Chef Rick, yes. The price point on it is a little much. The only thing I'll say about that is technically it is a limited deal. Like it's I don't believe it's like a full on full release. Now I will say I am looking at twoguyscigars.com right now, and they have the 6x52 Toro of the Chef Rick for $13.29 per cigar. The box of them is $584.99, which again, like you pointed out, it is a 50 count box, which breaks down to $11.69 per cigar. So, you are getting it for $11 and some change if you buy it by the box. But I also understand that buying a nearly $600 50 count box is not an easy, thing to do. I'm not the biggest fan of 50 count boxes. I think Perdomo did that most recently with their father and son, or Family Legacy. I think Family Legacy, whatever. Anyway, the most recent Perdomo release was in 50 count cabinets. The West Tampa Devil's Crab was in a 50 count box up until very recently. They recently started putting it out in both a 50 and a 20, because I think what they realized is the retailers were buying the 50, but they weren't selling 50 counts to consumers. 20 count tends to do well for consumers. It's look, for some people, even 20 count is an expensive date, but it's better than a 50 count. So that would be the only, so I'll agree with you there, James, is that, boy, that 50 count box, it gets kind of pricey, but you're right. The Chef Rick is a really good cigar. I really do enjoy it. And, at, $11.69 per cigar, it does break down really nicely, but man, that $585 is a tough nut to crack, especially these days. But I don't know. I guess if you have the disposable income and you're looking for a really good cigar and you dig it, it's a good way of getting it at a decent price. So anyway, thank you for the call, James. I appreciate it. All right, now we're bouncing around a lot. If I recall, these calls came in different sequence, and we bounce around a lot. So now I'm keeping track here. So we're going to this call now.
What is up, Nick? It's Tyler.
What up, Tyler?
So I just listened to, today actually, I listened to your episode from Friday, and you were smoking the tobacco special, and I thought it was kind of funny how you just kept fighting with it the entire time. But honestly, the real reason why I called you is I just watched the Germany-Paraguay game, and dude, I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. What a fucking game. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.
So
this is the stuff that the World Cup is all about. I absolutely love it. Yeah. I hope everybody has a great day, has a great 4th of July. Stay safe, stay smoky. Later, everybody.
All right. Tyler, you have just gone ahead. You've prompted me. It was what was going to happen, but we're going to go ahead and just do this now. It's time for the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report, brought to you by
Villiger.
Villiger Cigars, one of the leading cigar and cigarello manufacturers in the world, founded in 1888 and still family owned and operated. Head over to VilligerCigars.com and check the store locator to find a shop near you that carries them. We guarantee that Villiger Cigars will be a wonderful addition to your humidor and cigar rotation. All right. I really didn't have much to talk about in the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report. Obviously, I saw some fireworks. I spent a lot of time doing stuff this week. Very little time watching TV. Saw fireworks with my boy a couple times. The second fireworks show, much better than the first one. The first one, it would have been serviceable if that was the only fireworks we saw. The second one, way better, way more variety, bigger, longer. It was great. It was a wonderful show. So Troy, Illinois. I'm giving a shout out to Troy, Illinois for a really, really good fireworks show. Regarding the other thing, though, I did catch more World Cup this week. Because why? You knew I was going to. And yes, Tyler, holy cow. Let me bring up a couple of games here. So, I got my chart. Germany and where is it? Germany and Paraguay. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Coming down to the penalty kicks. Guys, like as much fun as I had in the early rounds of this with the group play and watching the teams all play, as much fun as I had during that. Once we get to the bracket portion where like it's one game and the loser goes home, the level of play and excitement in this has just ramped up dramatically. Absolutely dramatically. And the intensity has ramped up because now it can't end on a draw. It can't end on a tie. So what ends up happening is you get the 90 minutes of play plus stoppage time. If it's still a draw, then it goes to 30 minutes of extra time plus a little bit of stoppage time there. If it's still a draw after that, then we go to the penalty kicks. And basically each team gets 5 penalty kicks where it's just the goalie and the kicker. That's it. Each team gets 5. And if at the end of the 5 for each team, one team maybe scored 4 and one team scored 5, the team that scored 5, they win. But if let's say at the end of those 5, it's tied, it goes 1-1. And basically it's a shootout at that point. It is so incredibly intense. And that's what happened with Germany and Paraguay. Is it was back and forth and it just got crazy. And finally Paraguay beat Germany, which was big because Germany was one of the teams that they were talking about might win this thing. And it was absolutely insane. The other one that went down to the wire there was the Netherlands and Morocco ended up winning with penalty kicks. And Morocco ended up moving on and taking on Canada and beating Canada 3-0 in the round of 16. So that's a pretty big deal. Morocco, I believe, is playing, they're going to be playing France. I can't read the date on that, but soon, very, very soon, they're going to be playing France. More than likely, that's probably when Morocco's gonna go away because France is like really, really good. Although I really don't like France all that much either. They were kind of dicks to Paraguay when they played Paraguay. I think it was this past weekend, and I was not impressed with France and the way they played. That's the other thing. These teams were it was more friendly in the group play and everything. Now that we're in the tournament itself, it's like, my God, the amount of intensity has ramped up. And so now you're starting to see who's an asshole and who's not. And so, there's some of that. But there was one other game that came down to penalty kicks that I took note of. And that was Australia and Egypt. And that got pretty intense too. And ultimately Egypt won that. And they're moving on. They're going to play Argentina in the round of 16 coming up. So yeah, I am loving it. The tournament has gotten so much more intense now that we're in the bracket, and I'm having so much fun with this. Last night was the Mexico-England game. Holy shit. That was crazy. Absolutely crazy. You had stuff going on in that left and right that I had no idea. I truly had no idea who was going to end up winning that before it was all said and done. At one point England was up 3-1, and I'm like, oh well, that's the end of that. And then they get a penalty, or Mexico gets a penalty against them, to where then in the middle of the game they're having a penalty kick, and they get it to 3-2, and they just couldn't quite manage to get that next goal they needed to during regulation time in order to take it to extra time and stretch it out longer. But yeah, man, big game for both Mexico and England last night. And then today, obviously this comes out Tuesday, but I'm recording on Monday. Today we've got Spain and Portugal, and then the United States and Belgium, which the United States, the whole player that got the red card and was supposed to sit this game out, but then Donald Trump called FIFA and ended up getting FIFA to suspend the one-game suspension until the next season, to where, this guy can play this time. That's bullshit. I'm just going to say it. It's bullshit. I think the red card was kind of bullshit, to be honest. If FIFA would have reviewed that red card and said, hey, he shouldn't have gotten a red card, it should have been a yellow, or blah, 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 or whatever, truthfully, that would have been one thing. But for them to basically say, like, we're just going to go ahead, we're going to keep the red card in play, but we're going to shift the penalty until next season, and that way he can play this game against Belgium. Yeah, if I were Belgium, I'd be pissed. I think they have every right to be pissed. The rules were not fair. They were stacked against them in favor of the United States. And I'm saying this obviously as a citizen of the United States, but it's not fair. That's bullshit. And the mere fact that it's now come out that the president called the guy in charge of FIFA and got him to do this, that's bullshit. Because, there was a player on England that got a red card last night against Mexico. That player, theoretically, will not be able to play in the game against Norway coming up. Well, unfortunately, England doesn't have an active prime minister that can call the head of FIFA and lobby and get that guy's suspension pushed back. I mean, you've had players throughout this tournament that have gotten red cards that had to sit out the next game. So the penalty, that rule has been in place up to now. So now all of a sudden for one guy, the rule is suspended and changed. And I'm sorry, that's bullshit. I don't care who it benefits, and everything. It's bullshit. But, yeah, but what are you going to do? No, I've been digging it, Tyler. It's been so much fun, and I've enjoyed every bit of it, and I'm looking forward to more. Yes. So thank you for the call. Moving on now. Man, I need a drink. And so you know what? Before I take this next call, we're just shifting everything around. Before I take this next call, we're going to do the lemonade review because I desperately need a drink, and the only drink I have sitting here on the desk right now is my lemonade. And I have to get a drink. So, Glenn, you touched on it. I finally have come up with a name for this segment. I have not come up with a little fancy stinger for it yet, but I have a name for it. And it's now time for, is the juice worth the squeeze? It's the lemonade review. And so today we will be reviewing lemonade from Chick-fil-A. Yes, Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A makes their own lemonade. They are not like, Minute Maid or Country, whatever. They make their own lemonade, and they do some fine lemonade. And so I figured, you know what? It's time to get Chick-fil-A on the board. Now, I know I did the whole different categories with the last lemonade review, the Two Guys review. I'm going to end up re-reviewing Two Guys based at some point down the road because, quite frankly, and it's not because Two Guys got the 8.1. The 8.1 is a perfectly legitimate score. The simple fact of the matter is that lemonade review, as I was recording it, as I was doing it, I'm sitting here thinking, this is way too complicated, way too long, too in-depth. I don't like it. I went from too light to too much. And I need to find the happy medium. And so I feel as though we can have the happy medium, but we need to just pare it back a little bit. We need to pare it back just a little bit and, have this be a little bit more simplified. It was too complicated the way I did it. So I'm scrolling back trying to find the little lemonade review thing that I had. Because yes, we need to pare it back. Where in the hell is that image? Boy, this is going to suck real bad if I can't find that image. And then suddenly, where is it? There it is. Okay. So we have the lemonade review sheet. So I'm going to go over those categories again to try and figure out what I want to keep and what I want to get rid of. We don't need 10 categories. That's ridiculous. That was overkill. I went too far. I apologize. I do think lemon flavor is important because the Mr. Pure, whatever. Sweetness and tartness, I don't believe need to be separated. I think we're going to go with what I call balance. Now, balance is subjective. This whole thing is subjective. Let's be real. But balance is subjective because balance, you can, I prefer my lemonade to be on the sweeter side. Some people maybe want it to be pucker up tart. So I'm going to keep balance, but I'm going to just let y'all know up front, I prefer it more on the sweeter side. So we're going to keep balance. We're going to keep freshness. Meaning, does it taste good quality? This is where we're going to kind of separate the mix from the fresh, and that kind of thing. Ingredients, all that kind of comes into play. And then I think we're going to go for the last one. I think we're just going to go with general enjoyment. Just general enjoyment. Is it good? Is it good? I think that's good. So those are the 4 categories we're going to go with here. So, bottoms up with the Chick-fil-A lemonade. Oh, yeah. So, lemon flavor. Excellent lemon flavor. Excellent lemon flavor. So good. It's got that nice little bit of lemony, kind of acidic, wonderful flavor to it. Sweet tart balance. It hits well with me. It is more on the sweeter side. But on the flip, there's this little bit of tartness that just kind of gives you a little pinch, little tingle to the eye, as you're swallowing it. So, the tartness is there. It's present. It's not just Kool-Aid. It's got some tartness to it. So, sweet tart balance. I think it's wonderful. I think it's good. It's on point, and it's what I enjoy. Freshness. I know they make their lemonade, and now are they making it in store or are they making it somewhere else and transporting the jugs of it to the store? That's a different question. I don't know. But it's a much better quality lemonade at Chick-fil-A than you'll find at like McDonald's, for example. So, I'm going to give them, we're going to go maybe like a 3/4 on the freshness, cause I'm not entirely fully sure of their process, but, so we're not going to go like a full 10, but, there's that. And as for enjoyment, I love it. And it's hitting the spot right now because I desperately need a drink. There's that tart on the back. So in terms of the Chick-fil-A lemonade, we're going to go 10, 7.5, and nope. Not 705, 7.5. And for enjoyment, we're going to go with another 10. So divided by 4. How does that? I don't know if I'm doing my math right. My math might be mathing weird. I don't know. Anyway, I may not be able to fully like give a. Yeah, I don't know how that works. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna go for Chick-fil-A. I mean, assuming my math is working right. I mean, I don't know if that equates out, because if I divide 10 by 10 by, if I add up the scores of the 10 divided by 10 to get the final score, I mean, I guess it's the same thing if I add the 4 scores divided by 4, and that's what gives me the final score, correct? This is why I'm a writer, guys. This is why I'm a journalist and not a mathematician. Well, if I do that, then it puts Chick-fil-A now tied with Tractor Organic Lemonade as my top favorite lemonade at 9.3. So I'm going to say that. I'm going to go ahead and go with that. I am going to I'm going to go back and I'm going to redo Two Guys, because I feel as though Two Guys with the 10 categories, I feel like, man, that got really overly complicated, and I don't know if their score balanced out in that regard. And unlike with FIFA and the red card, I want it noted there was no lobbying on behalf of the lemonade by Dave Garofalo and Two Guys. This is just me sitting here thinking, like, literally plotting this lemonade review thing out with you guys as we go. So I just want it noted for the record. There has been no funny business with the scoring of the lemonade. So anyway, yes, there we go. Thank you. Okay. That was that. I needed a beverage. I needed a drink. All right. Now, where was I? That was Tyler that called because we were doing the Villiger thing. So thank you for getting me. The segments are all over the place here. All right. Back to the calls. We'll go here.
What's up, Nick? This is Dakota. How you doing?
What up, Dakota?
Okay. So in the most recent episode that I've listened to, which is the dead people episode that you did with Noah.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all talked about armadillos very shortly, and you sent out the bat signal, and here I am. So now, okay, never mind. Now that I'm thinking about armadillos, you got me thinking about this. First of all, the only armadillo that lives in the U.S., well, I call it the nine-banded armadillo, but we'll come back to its name in a second. They're pretty freaking cool. I mean, you got the little pieces of the shells called the scoots, and they're made out of keratin like our fingernails, and they have terrible eyesight, but, they have other senses that help them detect all this, stuff around them. They're excellent diggers. They're really, really cool, right? They're insectivores. They got these funky little, like, pellet-like teeth. And, I mean, armadillos throughout the world range from, like, chipmunk-sized to, like, I don't know, a pig almost. Not a big pig, a small pig. Anyway, the giant armadillo has like 100 teeth. And they're all these little pig-like teeth. It's funny. They got really sticky tongues because, yes, they're related to, what are they called? Anteaters and friggin' sloths. But, okay, the soapbox that I'm currently on that for some reason my ADD self has jumped into from the mention of armadillos is scientists recently reclassifying everything. So I'm sure Noah is aware of the snake ones, like the red milk snake used to be a subspecies of the eastern milk snake. The red milk snake was almost identical to the scarlet snake. Of course, you could tell the difference by looking at the belly, but like the pattern, very much a scarlet king snake and scarlet snake, right? But they scientists reclassified them just to a different morph of the eastern milk snake. Okay, sure, I understand that one. But now they've taken all the freaking rat snakes, the eastern gray rat snake, the northern, the black rat snake, all of the rat snakes are now the same freaking snake. They're called the central rat snake. And if I wasn't an educator and had to educate people what the freaking scientist people say, then I wouldn't be telling people that, because it's whatever. Okay. central rat snake. But then, right? So I think this happened, I don't know, a year ago, 2 years ago. The 9-banded armadillo, which is what we got, is now the Mexican long-nosed armadillo because they apparently came from Costa Rica. What? And Central America? So why is it the Mexican long-nosed? Okay, scientists, chill out. Geography's not your strong suit. Anyway, I'm running out of time. Peace.
He was running out of time, but he called right back.
What's up, Nick? So I forgot to mention my heated soliloquy. Is that one of the crazy things is that armadillos give birth, or specifically the Mexican long-nosed armadillo or the 9-banded armadillo, if you're a civilized human being, give birth to 4 identical quadruplets every time, and every time they're all the same gender. Weird. Crazy. Insane. They are mammals like we are. Anyway, all right, peace.
All right. Well, we have learned about armadillos. This is good. You know, Dakota, we're going to end up calling you Jungle Jack Hanna before this is all over with all the animal knowledge. I mean, my God, it's like if we need animal knowledge, I just got to mention it on the show, and Dakota calls in. So that's kind of nice, you know. So we have our own personal animal expert here. It's fun. So, all right. Again, I told you, I'm jumping all around in calls. So now we're going back and hearing this one.
Nick, James, the delivery guy from Grass Valley.
What up, James?
Sorry about the background noise. I just finished your most recent episode with the celebrity death list.
Ah, yes.
Anyway, I wanted to tell you I was so stoked for, PulpitFest and all that stuff. I could not get the time off in October to go to PulpitFest because as a delivery driver, our company requires us to plan our entire year in March. And maybe I'll do better next year. We had a couple of guys retire this year, so seniority is as seniority does. So just by virtue of being there longer than some other guys and some of the guys who are higher up the list, maybe I'll make it next year. Anyway, I really like the Lemonade-O-meter. I look forward to seeing maybe on the Pulpit Parishioners group chat, seeing the other lemonades posted up on that list, because I think you're correct. You've already reviewed them without the Lemonade-O-meter, and going through that again would be torture for some, and maybe a little entertaining for those of us who are into that. But you made a good call. Well, feel free to go off on how I'm a loserly loser and I should definitely make it to PulpitFest because this is going to be the best one yet, etc. and so forth. So you guys stay smoky and safe, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.
It doesn't sound like I need to point out to you how this is going to be the best one yet, because it sounds like you already know it's going to be the best one yet. So I won't rub salt in the wound there, James. But yeah, I mean, here's the question. Maybe, but see, I don't know how that would work. Logistics. I'm like, maybe we need to order something via UPS delivered to the Ashenale on that date from like your area to where like you have to drive it. Granted, that would be a long ass drive from California to Florida, but you could do travel logs along the way. That could be fun. But yeah, I guess the whole point of the UPS system is that it's a system and that, packages are the things that move, not the actual driver going from point A all the way to point B and then eventually back to point A. Yeah, no, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I get it. Shit happens. Life is what life is. And, people can't take off, but just know that, we're going to have a party. you should be there. And, it's going to be a lot of fun. But, hey, shit happens. I get it. Plan for next year. I will try and get dates and everything announced for next year's. Or I try to announce dates early. I mean, I had these dates pretty early, late last year and everything. But we'll get the dates hammered out, and you can plan. I mean, obviously, I know we want to avoid the holiday delivery time because I'm assuming holidays are difficult for everybody. But, I don't personally want to be doing this during the holidays anyway because, nobody has time or money for that. But, all right, 2 more calls, and then I'm wrapping this thing up because at some point I got to be heading out to go get my boy at school. So, all righty.
What is up, Nick? It's Tyler.
Tyler's back.
It's Saturday, July 3rd. Just wanted to give a shout out to Renee and the guys at Villiger. I got my care package today, and I'm super stoked and very excited to try it. I wanted to say thank you to them and a huge shout out to those guys. And hope everybody has a great 4th of July. Stay safe, stay smoky, guys, and remember, be safe with fireworks. Later, y'all.
Yes, I'm so glad you got it, Tyler, and I'm glad you did that. I'm sure, like I said, big thanks to Renee and everybody at Villiger for sending those out to everyone who took part in the Zoom Herf. That was very kind of them to do that. And yes, I hope everybody had a really great 4th of July. I hope everybody has a safe 4th of July. I hope all my parishioners came back to me with all of their fingers and toes. Hopefully, nobody lost any body parts over the course of the holiday. And if you did, I'm sorry. What did everybody smoke over the 4th? I saw a lot of people posting pictures on Instagram. I saw a lot of firecrackers, different brands, different size, different aged, firecrackers over the course of the 4th of July. But what did everybody smoke on the 4th of July? Let me know. I'm curious. I like to know the holiday cigars. Like, what did everybody take part in? I thought that was fun. So, all right, one more call.
What's up, Nick?
What up, Dakota?
I'm not finished with your latest episode about forgotten cigar brands or whatever, but I heard that Alec Bradley was dying, and that makes me very sad. I'm not apparently that much in the know. But so I never actually called in and told my 4 cigar starter pack.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's because I had 3 and didn't come up with a 4th one yet. I'm pretty sure the statute of limitations has gone up with that, but it was Alec Bradley Connecticut as the Connecticut because I don't like Connecticut's very much, but that was a good one.
Okay.
And of course, I had, I wanted Garofalo Sungrown.
Okay.
The Classic Cigars Cameroon. That one's a little weird because obviously it's a what's it called, a budget cigar, right? But when you cold draw on that cigar, it has this not weird, but it has this grape taste, and it's not chemical, it's natural, right? So it's weird that I taste it, but it's good. I've even sucked on one just for a while, without lighting it, because I just thought it was very entertaining. But that'll show the obvious difference between cold draws and lighting it. So that's why the Classic Cameroon was one. The Garofalo Sungrown is just a good cigar. The Alec Bradley is the Connecticut that I like best at the moment. And I didn't come up with a 4th one. But, I even thought about doing Alec Bradley post-embargo B15. And then I saw that this gentleman, where'd he go? Roger Presley posted it on the Cigar Pulpit Facebook thing, or the Parishioners Facebook thing. And so far that was one of my favorite cigars. Actually, my favorite cigar of all the Alec Bradleys I've ever tasted. But currently one of my favorite cigars, just because it's right within my wheelhouse. But then you mentioned that Alec Bradley's like dying as a company. I know this was discontinued in 2021, but reopened by Ford in 2023. But does that mean it's going to get discontinued again? Or Are they going to continue making it and just post a different band on it? Because, dear Lord, I like it. I hope they do that. Are they ever going to tell us what band they put on it? I don't know. How does that work? What happens to single cigars that belong to companies that go out of business? I don't know, man, but I'm running out of time, and I said a whole bunch of stuff. Peace.
Oh, Dakota. So we end this Ask the Pulpit with an actual, semi-serious discussion. So Alec Bradley, it's not that they're going out of business. I mean, look, they were purchased by General Cigar, put under the Forged umbrella, I believe, but maybe not. Maybe they're still under General, but let's be real. Forged and General are the same thing. Maybe not legally, maybe technically legally they are two separate companies, but they are the same thing practically. It's not so much that Alec Bradley's going out of business as much as it is that, as with, all things, when a company purchases another company and purchases the assets or intellectual property or whatever of said company, changes are made. And in this case, General purchased Alec Bradley. They made changes to the portfolio. And I'm not saying they made changes to the blends because I don't know that, but it's not impossible to think that maybe they made some changes to the blends. I can't say that I've smoked many of them to know for all intents and purposes. It's one of those things where maybe the blends are the same. I don't know that. But what I do know is that they have, over the last handful of years since purchasing Alec Bradley, canceled SKUs. They have said, we're no longer making this. We're no longer making this. We're no longer making this. And so they're whittling down the Alec Bradley portfolio. Now, look, they're not gone. They're still out there. They're still around. Maybe there's less. Maybe there's some SKUs that were available 2 years ago that are no longer available now. The only time, like I said, the only time out of the year that you really ever hear anything about Alec Bradley is St. Patrick's Day, when they do the Filthy Hooligan. They really don't do, it hasn't, and if they have, then it's gone so far under the radar I haven't noticed, but they really don't do new blends and release them under the Alec Bradley banner. It's not like they're coming out with the new Alec Bradley AB1 or whatever we want to call it, They're not coming out with new stuff. Room 101, they still come out with some new stuff once in a while. But Alec Bradley, it's kind of like they're just there. Now, when they purchased them, Alec Bradley, the part of the talk at the time, and I'm literally reaching back in the memory banks here and pulling this out of my ass, so please forgive me if I don't get this exactly right. Alec Bradley was big with online sales. And General owns, which one do they own? Is it CI? They own one of the big ones. Hang on. I'm going to look that up. What online site does General Cigar own? Scandinavian Tobacco. Oh my gosh. I really wish I knew this off the top of my head. I know Scandinavian Tobacco Group. I know they own one of them. I feel like it's golly. Here we go. I'm sorry. This is super boring for everybody, but like, I'm trying desperately to figure this out. Let's just go to Scandinavian Tobacco Group. What do they own? Mergers and acquisitions. Pipesandcigars.com. I don't know. I could be wrong. Who owns Cigars International? There it is. That's the question I should ask. Cigars International is owned by Scandinavian Tobacco Group. So there you go. CI is owned by Scandinavian Tobacco Group, also known as General Cigar. So General Cigar has Alec Bradley. They also own CI. CI was moving a lot of Alec Bradley cigars at the time, and so I think it was one of those situations where CI or General basically said, hey, we're moving an awful lot of this brand. We could just go ahead and buy that brand, and then at that point, all of the profit goes to us. Because right now, we're making some off of the sales of this cigar, but then at the same time, we're splitting it with Alec Bradley. Let's just put it under our umbrella. We'll own Alec Bradley, we'll own the brand, and we'll sell a shit ton of it online. And I think that was the thought. I could be wrong. I'm just talking based upon what I think I heard. And so they did that. And it's one of those things where, they bought it. It's doing its thing. They're cutting SKUs. So I'm not saying it's dead, Dakota, but what I am saying is that, like, Alec Bradley today is not Alec Bradley 5 years ago or whatever year it was that they were bought. And so change happens. Now, as for any specific Alec Bradley brand that you're, or cigar that you're looking for, I don't know. I don't know the answer in terms of like when it, how it goes, when it goes, anything like that. Some go and come back. You said one went away in 2021 and then one came back. And then it came back in 2023. That's cool. I'm glad it came back for you. I would say enjoy it while it's around. And to be honest, if it's a cigar that you like, it doesn't hurt to slowly over time, maybe stockpile a little, see what you can pull together and, have in reserve. That way, in case something happens, it goes away, you've got some. And, if it doesn't go away, you've just got some cigars that you really like. So what's the harm there? Anyway, yeah, I don't really have a good answer for you on that, but I don't want you to think that I was saying that like Alec Bradley was like dying, that it was like gone, but it's definitely a shadow of what it used to be. And, that just is kind of the unfortunate reality of a bigger company buying a smaller one and, buying it for the parts. I mean, look at what happened with Nat Sherman. Nat Sherman, when it was bought out, the company that bought it only wanted the cigarettes, and the cigar brands were going to die. They were done. They were going to just go away and die, languish in obscurity, and that was going to be the end of it. And then it was Michael Herklotz who managed to be able to get a hold of those cigar brands and get them to where they could use them and put them out through Ferio Tego. So that's the only reason we have Timeless and Metropolitan these days, is because, he got those brands from Nat Sherman when that all went down. So, it's one of those things. It takes somebody who really cares to grab hold and do something. Maybe General would be willing to sell some of the Alec Bradley brands. You just couldn't call them Alec Bradley. Maybe it'd be something that, like, if they're ones that they're not using, maybe they'd be willing to sell those. I don't know. But yeah. It's just one of those things that I just don't know what's going to happen there. But it definitely feels like the better days of Alec Bradley are behind it. Just my opinion. So anyway, guys, this has been a action-packed, full, extra bonus-sized Ask the Pulpit. You can get your calls and questions in by calling the hotline at area code 863-874-0000. That's 863-874-0000, or tofu pie with no E, 0000. All right, now I gotta check the show notes. I bounced around so much during that quite frankly, I have lost track of what I have done and what I have not done. I did do the Villiger report. I did do the Is the Juice Worth a Squeeze lemonade review. And I did promote that July 25th is our upcoming Zoom Herf. So I guess it's that time where I tell you that I am available on the socials at Instagram at the Cigar Pulpit. I'm on Facebook where we have the Pulpit Parishioners group. It's a private group. You can find that. Jump in on that. I'll let you in. And then from there, you can share what you're smoking and get to know everybody. It's a fun time. I'm on Twitter/X. You can watch this on Rumble and YouTube. And also on Rumble and YouTube every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Central Time, I put out the Drive Time Review. And I did not do a Drive Time Review last week because I have my son. Truthfully, it may not happen this week either. I'm not entirely sure. I don't have one banked up. So this episode comes out on Tuesday. If I can get one in on Tuesday, then we'll do it. Otherwise, it may have to take one more week off. But anyway, those normally go up on Wednesdays at 7 a.m. on YouTube and Rumble. From there, you can call the hotline. I already told you, area code 863-874-0000. And finally, head on over to cigarpulpit.com for your PulpitFest tickets. They're still on sale. We got 12 left. Get them while they're hot. They're moving. But while you're there, there's a little pop-up box that comes up. And it's for the Cigar Chronicle newsletter. If you're not a member of the newsletter list and you want to get a monthly newsletter with all kinds of cool and fun information as well as cigar information and everything, just put your email address in there and I will send it to you. I promise I will not blow you up. You will not get multiple emails a day, much less multiple emails a month. You will get the one and, it'll be good. It'll be good. So anyway, alrighty, guys, thank you so much for taking time out with me. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the calls. You guys, I love the calls. Keep them coming. It's been great. And no, there's no statute of limitations on the beginner cigar pack. If you have an idea on a beginner cigar pack, 4 cigars, pack like that, and you haven't called in with yours yet, then call in. Let me know what it is. I think it's good. And I think it's good for everybody else because it gives ideas for everybody else of things that they can try and they can recommend. So it's all good. It's all good. Anyway, guys, again, thanks so much for taking time out. I appreciate it. This has been Nick with another sermon. Everybody, stay safe. Stay smart. Made it under the wire. That way I'm not a deadbeat dad who doesn't pick up his kid at school. Later.